I'm at the site of the Oklahoma City bombing, April 19th, 1995. Timothy McVeigh and Terry Nichols committed this crime. Timothy McVeigh parked his truck right here on what used to be 5th Street here in Oklahoma City. And right here is where the building used to stand. I'm going to take you around and show you some of the things to see here. This is absolutely, it's beautiful, it's sad. Yeah, I'll tell you what I know about this location. So this is a reflecting pool, and this would have been where 5th Street is. Oh, it's a lot, I actually thought it was deeper. The truck would have been parked right about there. If you're not familiar with the story of the Oklahoma City bombing, essentially out of anger and rage towards a few incidents, but mostly Waco, the Waco siege, Timothy McVeigh exploded a Ryder truck loaded with ammonium nitrate in front of a building here in Oklahoma City, a federal building, wanting to cause as much damage as possible. And he certainly did. You're going to see numbers on either side. 901. That represents the time before the bomb. The bomb was detonated at 902 right here. And 903 represents the massive change that came afterwards. So each of these chairs represent a victim. I know that these 5 chairs here were people who were not inside the building, were still killed from the blast. And as they're in rows, according to the floors of the building, there were 9 floors in total. And as you can see, right here, as I'm walking along closer to where the truck would have been, that's where the most destruction was done. Right here. Now, one thing you'll see is there are smaller chairs. Those represent the 19 children, because there's a daycare here. The chairs represent the children. And right along here is where most of the destruction was and most of the deaths occurred. And it goes all the way up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The 9th floor. There were a couple of different entrances to the building, and I believe the main one was over here. This was the 5th Street entrance, which is where he decided to detonate his bomb. Timothy McVeigh was convicted, given the death sentence, and executed, I believe, in July of 2001. His co-conspirator, Terry Nichols, is currently serving think maybe about 160, something like that. Well, 168 people died, 500 people were injured, over 500 people injured, over $650 million in damage. I think 350 buildings in the area had some sort of damage from the blast. Over 250 buildings had glass shattered. But yeah, his co-conspirator Terry Nichols is in the Florence Supermax prison in Florence, Colorado, where he's actually in a little area commonly referred to as Bombers Row, because one of the guys that committed the 9/11, the World Trade Center bombings from 93, he's there, as is Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber. So as I said, there's the timestamp 9:01, which symbolizes the innocence before the bombing. And then right across the reflecting pool, 9:03, which symbolizes the healing that came afterwards. And the reflecting pool is to, as you can see from that building, for you to look and see yourself. This building here used to house a newspaper, and now it houses a museum up here. I was speaking to the people inside, and they're absolutely wonderful. Everyone I've met in Oklahoma has been incredible. And right here, this tree to my left, this is a survivor's tree, because this was the parking lot, and over 80 cars were destroyed right here. And this was a small, as I was told, it was a pathetic looking tree at the time, but it grew out of all those cars. It was charred and everything. It still looks a little charred, but it grew, and nobody expected it to, and it's still here. Wow. And they take seeds from this tree and they sell them, and they're all over the United States, possibly all over the world. So there are parts of the survivor tree now everywhere. That's incredible. Which helps keep this place funded and going. And it is on the National Register of Historic Places. And there's still graffiti on the wall here, written by first responders. Team 5 for 1995. We search for the truth, we seek justice, the courts require it, the victims cry for it, and God demands it. Ceilings collapsed in this building, walls fell in, glass shattered everywhere. Many people were critically injured in this building, right from across from where the Alfred Murrah building used to stand. Unfortunately, there was no one killed in this building. It is heavy, it is tough to see this, because I remember watching on the news constantly, glued to the TV as most people were. And then you're here now, you're here with me, and I'm just seeing, I don't know what I expected. I guess this is exactly what I expected it to look like. It's a cold day. in Oklahoma. But, well, it's people without jackets on, so I guess it's not cold for them. But just walking, going about their lives all around. It's quiet though. It's so quiet. It's really quiet on this property. The whole town, city, has a quiet feel to it. That's one thing I've gathered. There's no honking, there's no heavy traffic, and especially here around the memorial. It's not an eerie quiet, it's a stillness. And there's a sadness in the air. Now, up until September 11th, 2001, this was the site of the deadliest terrorist attack in U.S. history. But it is still the site of the deadliest domestic terrorist attack, because Timothy McVeigh and Terry Nichols were Americans. I'm pretty sure I know what this is here behind this fence. I believe this was the playground for the daycare. I have to look at the sign. It was the playground. This grass lawn was the playground for the Children's Daycare Center. Many children were killed or injured in the building. As you can see, there's 3 flagpoles here. Oklahoma, the American flag, and what is that flag for? The city of Oklahoma City. But I believe this flagpole here with the American flag was originally at the federal building. So this is the original flagpole. So there are 17 federal agencies and 3 non-federal agencies that were located in the building. That was a big reason why Timothy McVeigh, he was going to carry out assassinations first. That was something he was thinking about doing. And then he wanted to get as much damage as he could. He thought that would make a bigger statement. And the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, which is the emblem you're seeing right there, was one of his main targets. That, and then I believe the other one, now let me find it, because the United States Secret Service was, he thought that was a bonus. But I'm trying to think of what the other one was. It's not on the top. There's 3 that he was wanting to target, and this building had 2 of them. It's slipping my mind right now. Yeah, but that was his plan there. And beneath me is a parking lot that still stands and is used for this building across the street. And Alfred Murrah, who the building was named after, was a federal judge. And right where I'm standing is where the triage center was set up. And for 15 days, this plaza served as one of the command posts and staging areas for over 1,000 firefighters, emergency medical personnel, and other support staff from all over the country. Right here. Right up there is where the daycare playground was, and where I just showed you the emblems on the ground. And there's the entrance to the parking lot underneath. So the trees that you see behind me and the trees over near there, those are planted in memory of the first responders. And these trees here around the chairs, I'll flip it around and tell you. These are called loblolly trees. And they're gonna grow to about 90 to 100 feet tall, which will be as tall as the building was. And they're gonna form a protective wall around the chairs and around the site. I'd never heard of that tree. Part of the evergreen family, I believe, is what I was told. Loblolly trees. And there's this Jesus wept statue here, and those sculptures behind him represent the children. Right here, I can't explain how heavy that is. I'm gonna take a look closer to that in a moment. But like I said, this would have been 5th Street, and Timothy McVeigh drove the van right up this street. And this building has been here since this tower. It's been heavily reconstructed because it was damaged as well. But they wanted to keep it. Security cameras caught the van here. He drove it along here, through here, parked it there. And then what he did, there used to be an alleyway right there alongside where the museum is and where that graffiti was that I showed you earlier. He ran through and then he zigzagged through alleyways, through buildings, because there was an open space over there. So he wanted to be protected from the bomb. So he made his getaway that way. That makes me sick. And another thing that I want to show you about these chairs is they are inscribed with names. Stephen Douglas Curry, for one. Sharon Louise Wood Chestnut. So each chair represents someone, and they even have their names on them. W. Stephen Williams. Each of them deserves their name mentioned right now. I wish I could. During the process of recovery and then making the monument, this wall that I showed you at the beginning of the video, this fence was placed around the property, and people came here and placed things. And when the memorial was ready to be opened, they had to move the fence. Took out a lot of it, but they left this part, and everything that was left was cataloged and stored away. And they changed this out every now and again too. And everything is kept. Nothing is thrown away. I don't know if you can see, but there's a bunch of kids up there in the window looking out. And it looks like a group of high school kids there taking a tour. And that's good to see, so that different generations will be taught about this and reminded about this. And I mean, these kids were definitely not alive when it happened. Hopefully they can understand the impact when they're told. Right now I can see the Parks and Services guy about to talk to them. I wonder how much sinks in and what they can absorb from this. Because those of us that were around when it happened, we remember. And when you're that age, you think you're gonna live forever. You really, really do. You think you're untouchable. And that's a great way to be. But as these chairs are a reminder, it's not exactly true. But they're good kids. They all smiled as they walked by. There's hope for the next generation. There's hope. And that's right across the street from the Jesus Wept statue that I showed you earlier. All right, well, it's very windy. This is hard, sad to see, but if you're ever down here near Oklahoma, near the Texas border, in Oklahoma City, I highly suggest coming to the former site of the Alfred Murrah building. It's something to see, and it's something you'll never forget. Wow. Hope you're doing good. Hope you're safe and well. Peace out.